Pickle, the
These-
North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more. That's the North Texas Honda dealers, ntxhondadealers.com. Go buy a car. That's what I want you to do. It's what me, your trusted football source, is telling you to do. Buy a car from Honda, North Texas Honda dealer. And that leads us into the Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. It's Mailbag Friday here, courtesy of our good friends at North Texas Honda dealers. Let us know in the comments: high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, books, the pandy. Don't ask about the pandy.
I don't want to talk about it.
Things like that. Whether or not UConn's going to beat Baylor in the Elite Eight. We will answer all of those questions for the next 10 minutes here on the Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Pickle, do we have any questions?
We sure do. We'll start off with an easy one here for you. Would you trust crawfish from a food truck outside of the bayou region?
So we got to define that. So I think what the question is probably alluding to is like, would you eat it in Nebraska?
Yep.
And the answer to that is no. But like, is Houston the bayou? Because I'll tell you this, I would trust it in Houston.
Yeah.
I would trust it in now. Yeah, how it kind of depends on your sphere of how far from the coast you're willing to go. I would do it in Houston.
Even here, would you do it here?
Yes.
Yes.
I would in the DFW Metroplex. So if you want to take, but that's probably as far out as I wouldn't do it in like Abilene.
Yeah.
Which sounds weird. So I would draw a circle like right there, and that's the radius that I would trust crawfish.
See, I love crawfish. Absolutely love it. So I'm in the scope that probably any place in the US that I lived, if it was crawfish season and I wanted to have it just once and I knew I wasn't going to be heading down south to actually get some good crawfish, I would probably eat it just once to say that I had it. But it's like, I wouldn't go searching for it. Like, I'm a lot more willing to go get it at multiple places. But I mean, there's seafood everywhere.
I like crawdad, yeah, but not good seafood everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what we're getting at here.
Really hard. I feel like it's way easier to mess up a piece of fish than it is to mess up crawfish. Like, realistically, it's the spices, you put them in the boiler, it's pretty so-so.
I think you'd be surprised. I would not. I would need to see some receipts. If I were going to go to a crawfish boil in Milwaukee. That's all I'm saying. Like if I were in Des Moines, where everybody's moving apparently, if I were in Des Moines and
so
they were like, come on over for a crawfish boil, I would say, can I see like some documentation? I'm gonna need some identification here for these crawdads. All right, what's next?
If you were to go to another state to cover high school football, which state would it be?
I'll be honest, I don't really have an interest in covering it anywhere else. I would probably say
mine would be Florida.
I'd probably say, yeah, maybe, but like there's just no passion there for Florida high school football. Like nobody comes to the games. Well, I mean, there's that. Like if you're okay, Hawaii. Like there you go. I'd rather do it in Hawaii. But but as far as quality, I'd probably go to like Ohio or Pennsylvania. Those are probably the closest as far as actual, like to me, what I enjoy about this job is that people are passionate about what we do. and people are passionate about this type of stuff. I just don't like. I think people look at Florida and it's like, yeah, there's fantastic players, but I think they view that as like a factory. I think that it is like the high school football is very secondary, in my opinion. There, Ohio and Pennsylvania is probably closer to people actually giving a crap about the team as opposed to where this is this kid going to sign with Miami. Like that's
Right.
I would say there. So yeah, I would say Ohio or Pennsylvania as far as from like how much I would enjoy my job. It'll probably be there. Louisiana wouldn't be bad either. Louisiana's got they like their high school football
Oh,
there
that's a good one. Get you some crawfish too. You kill two birds with one stone.
That's there you go. Listen, then I don't have to worry about whether or not I have sufficient crawfish verification.
For all of your crawfish needs. All right. If you had to choose between only watching the bad superhero movies or only watching Hallmark movies, which would you choose? This one's easy.
Ooh,
Load me up with Hallmark movies. If there is one thing that like I have a girly side in, it's movies. I love me some rom-coms. Absolutely.
we watched a rom com the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Step wife and I. We
Did you
watched
like it?
it's Always Be My Maybe. It's on Netflix. It's
I've
pretty
seen
good.
that
It's
one.
got Ali
Yep.
Wong and Asian Jim from The
Yes.
Office.
Yep.
It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
thought it was funny and clever. Um, I think I'd take Hallmark movies. I'll be honest. Because I got to be honest. I've been saying the word honest too much. I need to be less honest. Um,
The other
Bad
thing,
superhero movies
uh-huh.
are real bad. Like they're unwatchable. And Hallmark movies are mostly bad, but they don't hurt to watch.
You can also find Hallmark movies every now and then that do have like an underlying like sports type theme. Like, it might be like the
Yeah.
star basketball player, but at least you're getting a little bit of something. The other thing is too, there is just a plethora of Hallmark movies and you would be stuck watching the same superhero movies that are bad over and over and over. Like a big variety of some good ones and some bad ones are better than consistently terrible in my mind.
Well, and I guess one of the questions is like when we're talking about bad superhero movies, are we talking like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which has a huge budget but is just a bad movie? Or are we talking like um or are we talking like Black Cougar? Or are we talking like all these cheapo bad what's it called? The Incredible Bulk.
Oh yeah.
Like really terrible, like notoriously bad superhero movies because I want nothing to do with those. So, yeah, to your point about Hallmark movies having a sports tie-in, that was always an angle my wife tried with the show One Tree Hill, because One Tree
So
Hill
good.
ostensibly is a basketball show.
So good.
Like, okie dokie, I'll just take your word for it.
See, no, I'm telling you because I convinced when I lived with two guys, I convinced them to watch it with me, and they were no, 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 no. They loved it. It's honestly good.
I I have a hard time believing that. All right,
Every
what's
guy
next?
I've heard that has actually watched it has actually enjoyed it. So,
Okay, I trust you. I will not verify.
all right, let's see. If you could pick one school, it doesn't specify high school or college, to play football
Okay.
at in the last 20 years, which one would you choose?
So
You
I'm
can
gonna
pick
go
a
with the
high
high
school
school
or a
side.
college. Okay.
I'm gonna go with the high school side, and hmm, that's tough because here's what I would want. I would want it obviously to be successful. Like I don't want to play for a team that's a bunch of losers. Um, and I also want to play somewhere cool. Um, I think I would play at Sweetwater so that I could play in the in the Mustang Bowl
Yeah.
They went to a title game a few years ago. They've been good. That is a one-school town. Yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd
That's
play
good.
Sweetwater. That'd be my off the board pick for that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because I feel like a lot of people it would be easy to say like, oh, I'd love to go to Allen during their like big fest with Kyler and
Sure.
stuff. But the other part of me is I don't want to like I wouldn't want to go to a school that big. I'd rather go to one state championship in a school that is
Yeah.
like more small town than a huge school with
Yeah.
that much.
I mean,
That's
you
just
could
me
also
though.
say like, I mean, there's an easy answer. An easy answer would be like Carthage,
Carthage is perfect. Yep.
where you get to win a lot, and it's like one school town. They're super crazy about their team, et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera. West Orange Star kind of falls in that category as well.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, yeah, those would be the ones that immediately spring to mind.
Mhm.
Let's
Shadow
do
Creek
two
would have
more.
been Shadow Creek would have been really fun too. At one point
Yeah,
when it
Shadow
first
Creek's
opened,
interesting because you get to be part of that build and stuff like
and the
that.
build
That would
happened
be
like
fun too.
that. Shadow Creek would probably
Yeah,
be a going. Okay, two
yeah,
more you
like
said.
instant gratification. Yeah, two more.
Okay. We'll go with which inner city I'm assuming school has the best chance. Which inner city has the best chances to make a deep run in the playoffs?
So if we're talking individual schools, I mean, obviously you saw Austin LBJ. I'll just say this. I think that Austin LBJ kind of cracked that code of war, and they set the template for what it's got to be. That we had Houston Lamar make a title game back in 2014, but 14, yeah, that was the last Tyler game. But that I think at the 6A and 5A level, I think that is right now too big of a lift. I think that's too like you have to get away from playing the suburbs. And so as a result, I think you got to go to the 4A level. So Austin LBJ is one of those teams there in that 4A level that I think has that opportunity. I have long thought that like I would love to see Wilmer Hutchins really kind of put it all
Yep.
together because I think that from a Dallas ISD perspective, they probably have the best shot. Um,
Yeah, LBJ is
off the
definitely
top
the
of my
pinnacle
head,
example.
yeah, but because that's like that perfect example of like it's 4A, so it's like you get away from a lot of the big suburbs. Um, from a Houston perspective, there's just not a lot of Houston like great, like really good Houston area 4A teams. I'm pretty sure Wheatley's 4A. If Wheatley's 4A, then I would say Wheatley, who had a decent year last year, has an opportunity to make a run. But those would be the ones that immediately spring to mind. But to me, the key is you've got to get away from 6A and 5A. You got to drop down into those smaller classifications.
Yep.
Last one. Give me an ender.
So I don't remember the exact wording from this because we got kicked off the stream for a second. Wasn't us, it was Zuck.
Boo.
But it was something along the lines of if we were to have a tournament of all of our staff's alma maters from this past year, who would win?
In football?
Mm-hmm. Not like a
Let's
tournament,
see.
but say
Let's
you
go
got a
through it.
playoff bracket going.
Yeah. So you went to North Texas. They didn't
Well,
have an
they were
awesome
talking
year.
high school.
Oh, high school. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I know why you asked this question.
Well, see,
Um,
yes, but no.
so the way that it worked is I went to Shahan and I both went to Coppell, and Coppell didn't have an awesome year. Will went to Pleasanton. Pleasanton was a playoff team, right? I want to say they were a playoff team.
I think
Um,
first round. Yeah.
Step went to Everman, E Block. I think they were a playoff team too.
And then Maynard.
Ish went to Manor, and they had a great year 2019, but 2020 not so much. The answer is obviously, unless like where did Powers go to high school? I don't remember.
Why do I feel like he went to
Was it like
Oklahoma, somewhere in Oklahoma, right? Aren't him, Kendall,
maybe?
and
I don't know.
Chandra all from the Oklahoma range?
I don't know. I don't know. My point is that the answer obviously is the Llano Yellow Jackets.
See,
um,
that's what
that
I
they.
said. And then
Well, yeah.
Step chimed in and said that we were wrong because, which he's right, that Coppell would be the answer because y'all are a massive 6A school and just the sheer size and
Oh,
depth, if you want to say that, would be
lame. We're going pound for pound.
realistic.
Although actually, who has a decent claim is Dave Campbell, because Dave Campbell went to La Vega.
Mm-hmm.
And La Vega was, obviously, they lost to Argyle in the regional semifinals, I want to say. But La Vega's always very good too, so that's an option
imagine
there.
that. The
Yeah,
GOAT would just destroy us all, as it should be.
maybe, but the answer is probably Atlanta. I mean, you guys made the semifinals, right?
Yeah, see, I thought that was a perfect ender.
Before the Jonathan Brooks show.
That was.
Tough.
I yelled at my TV a lot.